Hello, and welcome to Bias Sports Talk Show. As you can tell, I am not your host, Liam Carroll. And I also have another person in the booth with me tonight. Ben, introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Benjamin Schneider. I'm a freshman here at Gordon, and Chase and I are on a track team together.
Yeah, I didn't want to do it alone. And he's a communication major, wants to do sports radio, and I'm like, well, why not come here?
Well, sports journalism.
Yeah.
Radio, but...
All right, so a lot has happened. I mean, the draft happened for the NFL, which is always a very eventful time, and we got a bunch of playoff action coming through here. And we're actually going to do a Gordon Sports Roundup, as a lot of the seasons are coming to an end, sadly, as the semester comes to a close. But yeah, anyway, let's get right into it. So, let's start off with the NBA playoffs, because I want to get basketball out of the way, because I'm not a basketball fan. All right, so Celtics were able to take on Milwaukee in Game 7. Did you watch any of that game?
I did watch a little bit of that game.
Yeah.
Felt like Boston pretty much had it in control most of the way, although I think that was maybe to be expected.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry. Dude, when your backup point guard is demolishing one of your starters, there's a problem. I mean, who is Bledsoe anyway? Like, do you know who Bledsoe is? Like,
well, I mean, I say this as a Sixers fan, but I do feel sympathetic for my friends up here losing Kyrie Irving and Gordon Hayward earlier in the season, obviously. But to not have arguably your two best players
and
hurts,
Jaylen Brown's out for first game. So, you know, it's going to be interesting. But also, the Celtics have been doing pretty good with their bench. I mean, that's a scary thing when your bench is, demolishing, some of the best teams in the league. So, all right. So, Sixers, Celtics.
Sixers in 4.
Savannah, that's a very bold statement, especially on Bias Sports Talk Show, where we're always biased towards Boston. But you know what?
No, I think it's going to be a good series.
I think
it's going to
so
go
too.
at least 6 games.
Mean, it depends. If Jaylen Brown's able to come back, I think it's going to be Game 7. I think he's one of those impact players, and we got Marcus Smart, Jason Tatum, and Jaylen Brown, some of the best young players in the league. It's, I don't know. And then you look at the 76ers, and you got, Embiid, Simmons, and then, you got so much raw talent there. But it's ultimately going to come down to experience.
And that raw talent's won 20 of their last 21 games.
Yeah.
Getting back to the regular season, so.
You know what?
We'll see.
It's going to be a fun series no matter what. And I called this series happening the first, I called it happening. I thought it was going to be in the conference finals, but honestly, the way the seeding worked out, it isn't. So we got that, and then Cleveland barely surviving the Indiana Pacers. Down to the wire in Game 7, and LeBron scored 45. Shocker. But here's the scary thing, though. There was a call late in the game where I think it was Nance Jr., where he was going up for a layup, and apparently LeBron goaltended. Did you see that play at all?
Yeah, I saw there was some controversy. I think the refs eventually admitted that they missed a call there, or the league admitted that the refs missed a call. But
honestly, is that just the NBA sucking up to LeBron? I mean, had that been any other player, do you feel like the call would have been different?
I don't know. I mean, if you thought the NFL refs were bad,
honestly, I think I would rather take the replacement refs over the NBA refs. Oof, that's a bold statement, but yeah. Then Cleveland's going on to play the number 1 seed Raptors. How do you feel like they're going to be due?
I feel like the Raptors are a team that's always pretty strong in the regular season. Always ends up with one of the top 3 seeds, and then when you get to the playoffs, you find out how overrated they are, and they just tend to fall apart. So,
but I mean,
I'm not saying they can't beat the Cavaliers in a 7-game series, but if I had to put money on it, I'd probably put it on the Cavs.
I mean, I don't know. It's just Cleveland came from a rough series with Indiana, and I was actually betting on Indiana because I mean, their team is just really, it's young, it's good, and I mean, I think they had to steal with Larry Nance Jr. with trading for Paul George, because I mean, I'm pretty sure Nance Jr. is a lot cheaper than Paul George. And on top of that, he's producing around the same numbers. So, I mean, granted, that's the whole old trade that happened. But you know what? Honestly, Nance Jr., you know what? He definitely showed that he deserved to be out there, and he deserves to be the guy there. But then I don't think that Cleveland's going to be able to hang with the Raptors just solely because of the series, like they just finished, because that was a brutal.
That's
series.
true because Cleveland certainly had kind of the wind knocked out of them, going 7 hard games.
I mean, like an extra 5 minutes, the results could have changed for any of those games. I don't remember one game where it was definitively the Cavs or definitively the Pacers. So,
yeah. Although Toronto had their hands full with Washington too.
Yeah, but
that series could have. But
it didn't go to Game 7.
Oh, it didn't. But I think Washington performed better than some were expecting. They gave Toronto a run for their money.
What was it? A 4-2 win for the Raptors?
I think so. I think it was 4-2.
I mean, you know what? Props to the Raptors props to Washington because this is the first time they're actually, been good since they had Michael Jordan. So, I mean, you know what? I like to see basketball.
Well, they had 38-year-old Michael Jordan and still couldn't get into the playoffs. So
no, I'm pretty sure they made it to the playoffs.
I don't think they made it to the playoffs.
I don't know. Well,
I think
way.
Well, if they did, they were out in the first round for sure. Yeah. But
I mean, I like with sports, and this is why I love the NHL, because you never know who's going to make it into the playoffs with the NHL. You never know. I mean, usually there's like 1 or 2 seasons, like halfway through, you can tell who are not going to get in. And then if you're an Oilers fan, you're not getting in at the beginning of the season. But the NBA, it's getting to the point where any team really can get in. I mean, it was a scrap to figure out who was getting the 5 seed. And you know what? It literally, the 8 seed could have been the 5 seed. The 5 seed could have been the 8 seed, and all the other ones in between.
Yeah, but I think that's part of why I like the NHL playoffs more. Because if you look at the last 3 seasons, it's been Warriors-Cavs for 3 years in a row, and there's still a possibility it could happen again this year. And I think, what was it, 2012 when it was Kings-Devils?
Yeah.
Or in the Stanley Cup Final, and the Devils were a 6 seed and the Kings were an 8 seed?
Yep.
Like that would never happen in the NBA.
Nope.
Just the parity in the NHL playoffs is so much greater than in the NBA playoffs.
Yeah. So, you know what? I'm calling it. Raptors are gonna beat Cavs in either 5 or 6. Anyway, onto the West. Utah crushing the Thunder. This wasn't expected because, I mean, you think about it, the Thunder. They have Carmelo Anthony, Russell Westbrook, and Paul George.
I think they were the team that was expected to.
If
anybody was going to knock the Warriors off of their throne in the West, and of course that ended up being Houston. But people expected a lot of great things coming out of Oklahoma City, and they just did not mesh together at all.
They did not perform at all. So Thunder are done, and right now there's disputes about whether or not Paul George is going to be coming back. In my opinion, I think he might give it one more season. I mean, depending on how they shape up the team, because I'm sorry, you got to get rid of Carmelo Anthony. He's a ball hog. He doesn't play well with others. He's not, he might be hot for 2 or 3 games, but other than that, forget about it.
There was some talk about whether or not he'd accept a bench role, coming off the bench, if that would help the team out, and he said he had absolutely no interest in that.
No, you need to get rid of him.
Yeah.
I mean, at this point, and that's another thing with the NBA, because Liam's not here. He can't, defend the NBA as much as, he usually does with his biased ways. The NBA is full of head cases. Lots of them. Each team has them. The only one where I really can't think of any head cases is the Spurs, because, Popovich, he's the only head case. Even then, he can back it up, because, how many championships has
5.
that guy won? And seriously, he's going to go down as one of the best coaches of all time. The only one who I think can hold a candle to Popovich is maybe Coach K. And even then, they're 2 different leagues. So, but that and the Celtics, because, really, I don't know. The whole team can have an ego, because, seriously, they play as, one, because, every time, oh, yeah, Kyrie's their best player. He scores 20 points, and then, Smart goes off for, 35. Oh, yeah, Smart's their best player. Well, then Kyrie goes off for 20, Horford goes off for, 25, and then, Smart goes off for 30. It's there really isn't one particular player who can say that is their absolute best. Technically it's Kyrie, but that's the thing, with the NBA, it's there's so many head cases. GM LeBron. I don't think LeBron's going to stay in Cleveland. I don't think that's going to happen. I think someone's going to offer him a max contract somewhere else. Like, oh yeah, you can do just about anything you want. And I think LeBron. I think probably the best place for him to go right now, if he really wants to, be the face of the franchise and really own the team, go to LA Clippers. Because seriously, they have no one.
Clippers, you said?
Because the Lakers, I would love to see this, but it's never going to happen. LeVar Ball and LeBron James going at it. That's going to go over like a fart in church. Not going to be good. And then you think about it, Milwaukee, they're stacked already. I mean, like their starting five is arguably some of the best is arguably the best in the league. I mean, the Celtics, they don't need them. I mean, for heaven's sakes, they got some of the best players in the world on their team. I mean, for heaven's sakes, their bench is literally better than some of the starting five. And the lower tiers of the league. And then you got the only other team who I think would really take him is maybe Phoenix.
There were reports in March that LeBron was down to 4 teams that he was going to decide. They were Cleveland, obviously, Los Angeles, Lakers, the Rockets, and the 76ers. Those were the 4 teams.
He's not going to go to the Rockets. I can tell you
I don't think there's room for him on the Rockets, and I don't know that the Rockets would want or need him even.
They don't need him. I mean, seriously, they don't need him. And then there was talks he's like, oh yeah, no, I'd be open to Golden State. You literally fought Golden State for 5 years in a row. You really are oh yeah, I'm just gonna go to the enemy like that. That'd be even worse than KD going to Golden State. That's just no bueno. Yeah.
Well, the 76ers is interesting because with the way they're seated right now, they could end up in the conference finals, and that's what happened to Oklahoma City and Golden State the last year Kevin Durant was in Oklahoma City. And of course, Golden State beat the Thunder, and Durant jumps ship. Could the same thing happen to LeBron if the Sixers win the East and beat the Cavs to do it?
I don't think so. I think he's probably...
Well, the thing about the 76ers is if that's the team LeBron would choose, then obviously they're one of the youngest teams in the NBA, and obviously he's closer to the end of his career than the beginning. He could ride off into the sunset, not having to do as much as he's doing in Cleveland right now, while Embiid and Simmons continue to grow. I'm not saying I would put money on him going there, but it is an interesting prospect.
It is a fairy tale ending. I can't picture it happening. I mean,
I'm with you though. I don't think he stays in Cleveland.
He's not gonna stay in Cleveland.
He won the championship. He
won the championship.
Delivered his promise.
I mean,
what more does
Cleveland loves him, but I mean, when he went to the Heat, that was probably one of the biggest betrayals in sports, and it's gonna happen again. He's not gonna stay. He's not gonna stay. He's gonna jump ship. Forget about it.
It's not gonna happen again because he's not gonna go on national TV with the decision, and he's won them a championship, so it wouldn't be exactly the same. But I don't know.
Okay. And can we just take a moment to talk about how SportsCenter has literally the biggest boner for LeBron James? I'm sorry. I literally turned on my computer today, found SportsCenter. I can say that, Ben. Don't give me that face. I literally turned on SportsCenter on Facebook, and it's all of a sudden LeBron with a big block and then winning the game for them. He's just as good as he was when he was in his prime. It's like, you kidding me? And it's like, oh yeah, LeBron James thinking about going to these teams. Do you know that he's gonna go to any of those teams? And it's just like, next thing you know, oh, hey, LeBron James ordered Chipotle. Do we really need to know about that? I mean, for heaven's sakes, the Las Vegas Golden Knights are, they won their first 5 playoff games ever in a row as a franchise team, and they have the chance to win the Stanley Cup. And all of a sudden, oh, LeBron James, he's the next Michael Jordan. He's not even at the end of his career yet, and you're telling me that he's going to be the next, Michael Jordan. When in actuality, Michael Jordan is going to be the best of all time. No questions. Because in that time period, who could hold a candle to Michael Jordan? Think about it. Who could hold a candle to Michael Jordan in that era? In prime, with the Bulls, Michael Jordan. No one. No one could.
Elijah Wan and the Rockets, maybe. But they won the 2 seasons that he was playing baseball.
Yeah,
in his first retirement. So,
however, now with LeBron, who can hold the candle to LeBron? Kyrie, Kevin Durant. I mean, heck, even Joel Embiid. Because he's got the personality and he's got the skill. Steph Curry. I mean,
well, there was an episode of First Take last season where they were taking questions from fans, and somebody actually asked, why don't you guys talk about the NHL more often? The Stanley Cup playoffs are, exciting. And Max Kellerman said, yeah, the Stanley Cup playoffs are very exciting, and if more people tuned into them and watched them, if the ratings were better, we'd talk about them more. And then Stephen A. said, yeah, I don't know too much about hockey. So that was basically their excuse. That's why they talk about the NBA so much, I guess, is that they think it's not as big in America, not as many people care about it.
Well, let's just put it this way. The NHL may not be the most well-watched, but here's the thing. Everyone in the world knows about the NHL. I mean, except maybe a couple, except maybe Africa, but even then, Egypt has a national hockey team. Jamaica has a national hockey team. Some places in South America have a hockey team. I mean, everyone's got a basketball team, but you know what? Looking like Canada, Russia, Sweden, Finland, England, all those European countries, hockey's a big deal. I mean, yeah. I'm still kind of disappointed, though, that SportsCenter isn't really taking a big deal with lacrosse, though, because lacrosse, that would be a fun sport to cover. But, Yeah,
that gets even less traction here than...
Yeah.
Hopefully
they'll be able to dethrone the NBA, because, the NBA is turning into, my opinion, again, this is biased. Remember that. The NBA is turning into a bunch of, cult of personalities, running teams, demanding more money, and trying to, I should be the best player in the league. No, I should be the best player in the league. Vote for me, because I'm the best. Name me one time an NHL hockey player said he should have been the MVP of the league. Connor McDavid, one of the best players in the world right now, literally carried his team, led the league in points, assists, all of that. Didn't get nominated for, a spot in the Hart, trophy race. And he's like, well, you know what? There are other guys up there who are just as good as me. And, just the humble character that you're not going to see that in the NBA. Anyway, enough bashing the NBA. So, 76ers beat the Heat in 5, Do you see, the Sixers going so far without their experience, with the lack of experience, excuse me? Do you see them going far in the playoffs?
Well, obviously I'm biased.
Yeah.
So I'm from northern Delaware, so Philadelphia's right there. But yeah, I told you they've won 20 of 21 games. The one game they lost was in that series against the Heat was by 2 points, and was because Dwayne Wade had a vintage night. So
Yeah, there's not a lot you can do about that.
Yeah, and Embiid missed half of those games with an injury. So the way they're playing right now, the chemistry that they have.
Yeah, I definitely think that's going to be a fun series to watch. So make sure you tune into the Celtics and 76ers, show your support for your team, and be educated, because Liam's going to talk about this a lot. Anyway, so NHL playoffs. Predators beat Avalanche in 2. We talked about that last week. Who are the Avalanche? We don't even know. Bruins finish off Toronto in 7. That was a heck of a game. I watched the tail end of that, and I was on the edge of my seat till probably they scored that 5th goal. Yeah, they win 7-3 actually. Yeah, 7-3 over the Toronto Maple Leafs. Coach Weichert, I know you're not listening, but still, how's it taste losing to the Bruins in Game 7 again? Yeah, for those of you who don't know, Coach Weichert for the track team is a very big Leafs fan, as he was born and raised in Canada. And yeah, I had a lot of talking to do about hockey this week in practice. Well, this past week. So
I can't say much because my Flyers went down to the Penguins.
But you know what? The Penguins, they're doing pretty hot right now. They took, they're tied 1-1 with the, actually, hold up. Hold on a sec. Pens, Cap.
I think they're tied 1-1, right?
Yep, they're tied 1-1. Yeah. And right now, an update, Game 2, Round 2. Oh, never mind, it's final. Yeah, Capitals beating the Penguins 4-1. Really a defining, that's a solid win. So this is going to be a fun series to watch. This is the 10th time they've met in the playoffs. Like seriously,
you'd probably know better than me.
I mean, they've met a lot, so I'm hoping the Pens go down here. I don't want to see a repeat because then it's turning into the NBA where one team wins it every year. I really want Washington to win it because I want even if the Bruins lose, obviously I'm going to be rooting for Washington because they haven't won a Stanley Cup yet. They've been a team for 50 years. Ovechkin needs to get one. He deserves it. He's due. I mean, the guy is arguably one of the best goal scorers of all time. He needs to get one. Do you think he's going to be able to do it? Do you think he's going to finally be able to dethrone Pittsburgh?
We'll see. Yeah. The way they're playing right now, looks pretty even. But
yeah. So we also have the Predators. Yeah, sorry, I didn't really. I thought I knew these off the top of my head. We have Preds and Winnipeg. Yeah, so the series is tied with Nashville and Winnipeg. Predators win 5-4. Thoughts and prayers to Ryan Ellis as he took a skate to the face yesterday. It's a scary injury. I've seen it happen. It's terrifying. I mean, I've had a skate to the throat injury. I thank the Lord nothing was cut, but yeah, someone stepped on my neck with a hockey skate. That was terrifying. Yeah, I literally just remember going over checking my throat for blood. Yeah, it's a good thing. I mean, the guy was from the middle of bumfrick nowhere, so more than likely he hadn't sharpened his skates since he bought the dang things. But you know what? I'm thankful. So, yeah, Winnipeg, Nashville, it's going to be an interesting series. Who do you got for this?
Probably leaning towards Nashville, to be honest, but it could go either way.
Yeah. And side note on this series, it's got to be pretty interesting because, they got, on one side you have a diehard fan for the Predators, Carrie Underwood as her husband, Mike Fisher is the captain. It's going to be, and then on the other side, you got a diehard Winnipeg Jets fan in the wrestler/rock star Chris Jericho, who is in the band Fozzy, who is currently doing pretty well. I mean, this isn't a music show, so I'm not going to bore you with that.
Underwood did sing the anthem last night, didn't she?
Yeah, I think she did.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's going to be interesting because, you know what? I hear they have a bet going, and I'm kind of curious to see how it goes. You know what? I'm going with Team Jericho on this one. I think it's going to be Winnipeg. So, the Bruins are playing the Lightning right now. It's currently 0-0. Boston with the big win over the Lightning. It was scary. I mean, oh my goodness. It was a defining win for, I mean, seriously, the Bruins swept the floor with them. So, and also, according to the Washington Post, Bruins gear was barred from some of the Lightning seats, and Boston fans aren't too thrilled about that, as if you were wearing Boston gear, you were not allowed to sit in certain places. Should this be allowed?
They did that when they were playing the Blackhawks in the final a couple years ago, I think. I think there was some controversy about Blackhawks fans not being allowed in some part of a stadium or something, but I don't know. I don't like it.
Yeah, no. I honestly, you let whoever deserves. Like you don't restrict, opposing teams' jerseys, T-shirts, whatever. It's stupid. No, just let the people wear what they want. Just make sure they're decent. Yep. Well, then what's the other series? Vegas.
Golden Knights and
Sharks. And Vegas Golden Knights and Sharks are tied right now, 1-1. Vegas with a real definitive win, 7-0 over the Sharks, and then the Sharks handed the Vegas Golden Knights their first loss in playoff history in double overtime, 5-4, I think it was, or it was something.
I thought it was 4-3.
4-3. Still, 2 overtimes to take down the Knights. That's a...
Yeah, well, everybody thought the Knights had won at the end of the first overtime. They had a goal taken away with goaltender interference.
Yeah, well, I think Vegas is going to take it, and honestly, Vegas right now is my favorite to win the Cup. I mean, I love the Bruins, and I genuinely hope I'm wrong, and I hope the Bruins are able to go all the way. But Vegas right now, they're hot. I mean, seriously. I mean, their coaching is phenomenal because I mean, you have essentially a team of like all third line, fourth line players, and they're kicking their crap.
This is unprecedented. To see an expansion team doing this well in their first season.
Yeah, and then on top of that, it's gonna change the dynamic because the NHL is bringing the team to Seattle in 2020. So, what do fans have to worry about Seattle now? Because, I mean, the expansion team, are they going to follow the precedent set by the Knights, or are they going to falter just like every other expansion team? Like, we don't know. Honestly, that's why I'm really excited. I mean, Seattle, they're a great sports city. I mean, they're diehard Seahawks fans. I mean, seriously. The Seahawks fans, they were insane. The Sounders for MLS? I don't know, but their soccer team, they are diehard fans for them. When they have the Seattle Supersonics, they were pretty big. And
they're still mad about that.
Yeah,
that's something I'd like to see the NBA do the exact same thing. Honestly, you can expand to 32 teams, give Seattle their Sonics back, and then there's already a bunch of summer league going on in Las Vegas. There's a fan base growing there, so I think it would be the perfect place. And then you just move Memphis over to the East because when they were in Vancouver and moved to Memphis, they never moved out of the West, even though Memphis is really more on the eastern half of the country. So you have 16 teams in each conference. It works out.
Yeah, you know what? Give Seattle a team. They deserve it. I mean, you could put it in Las Vegas, but I don't think... I mean, Vegas is a sports city, but I don't think it's a good idea, especially with the NBA players, putting them in, a casino environment. I mean, I was worried with the NHL team, but I mean, yeah.
What about the Raiders?
That's going to be even worse. I mean, seriously, whose brilliant idea was it to have a football team in Vegas? Morons. Anyway. And also, okay, while we're speaking about idiots here, whose bright idea was it to put the LA Chargers in Los Angeles? Why? You had a perfectly good fan base in San Diego, and now you can barely sell out a soccer stadium. 10,000. That's bad. It's really bad.
Yeah. Well, they wanted a team in Los Angeles, but they already had a team in Los Angeles because they just took the Rams out of St. Louis and put them back there. I didn't see any need for the Chargers to go there either.
Yeah. And you know what? Another idea is, take the LA Clippers, put them in Seattle. Seriously. You know what? They'll make more money that way.
Give them back to San Diego. Because that's where they were originally.
Yeah, you know what? Put them in. You got to move out of LA. All right? You can go to Anaheim. You could go to, Ontario. You could go to so many different places. But you decide to go in the one city where you literally have to compete to even get fans to show up. Let alone to actually, support you. It's like, no. All right, moving on. NFL draft. First round. Man, this was a crazy draft. I mean, 4 quarterbacks in the first, 10 picks. Unheard of before. And then you just have a lot of really interesting stories here. And then you have a lot of crazy trades. It's just... This was a really fun draft. I'm not going to lie. And this is the first time that the draft has been held, in an NFL stadium. They held it in Dallas in the Superdome. Yeah, it's called the Superdome, right? I don't know. Yeah, it is. And yeah, I mean, for the most part, they sold there was 2,000 tickets sold. So I mean, or 200,000 tickets sold, something like that. I mean, there was a lot of people there. So anyway, first round pick, the Cleveland Browns. Whose career are they going to ruin next? The answer: Baker Mayfield, Oklahoma. Why? Honestly, why? I don't know. Like this pick baffled me because not only did you pick probably the 3rd best quarterback in this draft, they didn't even give him a phone call. They didn't even say, "Oh, hey, we're drafting you." They literally just like, "Oh yeah, Baker Mayfield," and he's like, "What?" And then he got the phone call. Cleveland, you done messed up. Stop it.
But by the way, the Superdome is New Orleans.
Yeah.
Dallas is AT&T Stadium. I just wanted to make sure I got that right. My parents are Cowboys fans, so they kill me if I mess that up. But
yeah, no, shows you how much I pay. Honestly, the Cowboys. Speaking of the Cowboys, David Akers in the draft announcing
that was epic.
The 3rd round pick. Actually, you know what? Hold up, I'm gonna pull that up. Yeah, talk about what's your opinion on the Mayfield thing?
I mean, he won a Heisman, but Tim Tebow won a Heisman, so I don't know. I think the Browns need a little bit more than that, going 1-31 in the last 2 seasons.
Yeah, really. I think probably the safe pick would have been Sam Darnold. I think.
Yeah. Or if you really wanted Mayfield, I think you could have gotten him with the 4th pick.
Yeah. You know what? Take the running back because right now you don't have a good running back. So take Saquon Barkley. He was the 2nd pick going to the Giants. That's a steal for them. And it's hard to say it's a steal when it's the 2nd pick overall, but you done messed up. Seriously. And then the Jets, my Jets, getting Sam Darnold from UFC. You know what? I'm excited. I genuinely think this is going to be a pretty interesting event pretty interesting time because right now they got 3 quarterbacks: Sam Darnold, Teddy Bridgewater, Josh McCown. I think they're going to trade Teddy Bridgewater because McCown, you can't trade him because he literally that season McCown literally stole the hearts of all the Jets fans because no one expected him to do well. No one was expecting a lot from him. But in that, those games that he played, he was a lower tier, he was a mid-pack quarterback. He was he was a respectable quarterback in that time.
When McCown's firing on all cylinders, he really isn't that bad.
Yeah,
it's just his inconsistency that makes him lower.
People are asking him, they're going on Twitter, he should be a quarterback coach. He could do something. Keep him on the team, one way or another. If he retires, hire him. Let him do something. Let him design the playbook, something, anything. Honestly, I think they're gonna keep him for a while because he's not a bad quarterback when he's firing on all cylinders, as Ben said. So then, trade Teddy Bridgewater. You could probably get trade him to some team that really needs a quarterback, like Denver or something.
McCown is gonna be 39 this summer. So he is getting up there.
But still, you can't keep him as a backup because he can still. Still Brady's 42, but he's still playing like he's 20. So,
well, but then again, he's Tom Brady.
Yeah. Then again, it's Josh McCown. Yeah, I'm going to get shot for that one by Liam. All right. So, the Browns, they also take Denzel Ward, cornerback, Ohio State. That was actually a pretty solid pick. I had no problem with that one, although I think it should have been Baker Mayfield for that pick. But again, I'm drinking my tea. That's not my business. Then Broncos to take Bradley Chubb for defensive end. Colts taking Quentin Nelson. This is probably one of the best picks in the draft because Quentin Nelson he's going to be a Pro Bowler his first season. He's going to be like the next Joe Thomas. He's going to be on that line. He's going to protect Luck. It's a good pick by the Colts. Josh Allen taken by the Bills. Josh Allen, you're going to have a fun time with the Bills Mafia. May God have mercy on your soul. The Bears taking Raquan Smith from Georgia. You know what? The Bears. Enough said. 49ers with Mike McGlinchey. I don't know. How do you say that?
McGlinchey.
Yeah, McGlinchey. All right. I'm going to butcher these names. Seriously, if you are blaming me, you look up the East-West Bowl from Key and Peele. All right, that explains everything. Then the Cardinals taking Josh Rosen at quarterback. I'm surprised he went this low.
Well, he personally said there were 9 mistakes ahead of him.
Yeah,
having fallen to 10th.
Again, the Browns should have taken him, but he's a better option than Baker Mayfield. Why, Cleveland? Why? You're going to lose LeBron, and then you're going to have nobody. You're going to have Baker Mayfield. All right, then the Dolphins.
Still have the Indians.
The Indians, they're actually good. Okay, I'll give you that, but no one remembers the Indians. All right, the Dolphins taking a defensive back from with Fitzpatrick. And then the Buccaneers taking Vita Vea from Washington. He's a big dude from Hawaii, and dude, he guy's terrifying. He literally showed up with like a ceremonial flower necklace going over tradition. Dude, the guy is terrifying, and he's gonna fit right in with Tampa. Then Redskins, Daron Payne, Saints, Marcus Davenport, Raiders, Colton Miller, Bills with another pick, Termaine Edmonds. Yep, dyslexia coming in. Yep, nothing really special. The Bengals took a center, which is usually they go second, third round, but hey. Then the Panthers taking DJ Moore, another target for Cam Newton. Nah, you know he's got to run the ball. Then the Ravens taking Hayden Hurst, and they ended up getting Lamar Jackson, from Louisville, who won the Heisman.
With the Eagles pick.
With the Eagles pick. That's going to be interesting. Because Lamar Jackson, he was one of those quarterbacks I said the Pats should have picked up earlier. Because, granted, he is not a Tom Brady, but the Patriots needed a quarterback. And granted, they did draft one in the 7th round, but then again, the 7th round. But then again, Bill Belichick. Nobody knows what's going to happen. So
I still don't get that Garoppolo trade.
Yeah, the Garoppolo trade was it. So, moving on to the next round. Can you pass me the aux cords over there with the green? So, David Akers, he went off. No, it's that white. Oh. Right. Yeah, David Akers went off while announcing the pick for, the Eagles. And, yeah, I'm plugging it in. So, this is pretty interesting. And there's going to be an ad because of YouTube. Oh, no, there isn't. All right, we good?
What's up, Dallas? We heard you in Philly last year.
What are you doing, David? Oh, my goodness. This guy's going to get shot. Anyway.
I like standing up here before you as an undrafted free agent.
That's true. David Akers was an undrafted free agent. And he's arguably one of the best kickers of our generation. We'll keep going.
Representing that shield for 15 years. Tonight, I'm representing the Philadelphia Eagles. NFC East champs.
They were the NFC East champs.
Divisional champs.
They were divisional champs.
NFC champs.
That they are.
And world champs.
And that they did. I have a feeling that, they traded that pick just so they could have this be their opening statement.
Somebody said, with a 30-second pick, the Eagles say, "Nah, we're already loaded."
Yeah,
trade away the pick. We don't need anybody.
Dude, and it gets better. Just listen.
The world champs. Hey, Dallas. The last time you were in the Super Bowl, these draft picks weren't born.
Oh my goodness! David Akers holding no punches. And I'm sorry, Liam gave me a bunch of notes for the show. How did this not make it? Dude, David Akers, he's a kicker. It would be different if he was a quarterback or something. He is holding no punches. This guy does not give a single crap. He left them all in Philly, apparently. This guy is insane. Oh my goodness. It gets better.
Tonight, we are welcoming into the Eagles family.
True, they are a family, and they're one of the most strongest team in terms of their faith, because they are actually Christianity is a central part of that team. That's why I was really happy that they won, because they actually had a bunch of testimonials, and Carson Wentz, Zach Ertz, seriously, they all gave praise to Jesus for that win. So, and even Nick Foles. So, you know what?
Yeah, Nick Foles has taken seminary classes at Liberty. Wants to be a pastor, youth pastor after he retires.
Yeah, and it's actually kind of funny because, so the professor for that class actually goes to my church. Yeah, nope, I actually had, it was really cool because he's like, Nick Foles? All right, I guess that's a generic name. And then once he's grading it, and once he saw it on ESPN, he's like, oh my gosh, I'm teaching Nick Foles. Yeah, no, he's actually a pretty chill dude, Yeah, really intelligent guy. You kind of have to be if you want to be a professor. But anyway, continuing.
With the 49th pick in the 2018 draft, the NFL Philadelphia Eagles, Dallas Goedert.
There's the punchline. They literally take a guy with the name Dallas just to rub it in. Oh my goodness. David Akers, you are a legend. You deserve you deserve it. Just good job. All right, so Now, Patriots, they actually did a pretty good job in the draft. I believe ESPN gave them like a B- or a B+ for the draft, which is pretty good, especially because their aging core, they really needed to, get some, young players, get some good players. So first round, they take Isaiah Wynn, tackle from Georgia. They need to boost their defensive line, so good pick. And then Sonny Michael, a running back from Georgia, who actually his parents, he was actually from, I think it was either Haiti or the Dominican Republic, and he was able to get on football scholarship to Georgia, got an education, and now he's playing in the NFL. You know what? Props to you, man. Props to you.
His parents emigrated from Haiti a year after his older sister was born.
Yeah, I mean, still, props. Then Duke Dawson, quarterback from Florida. They do need to improve that defense, and I believe who did they lose? They lost someone pretty big on their team. I think it was
They lost several people pretty big on their team.
Yeah. I mean, I forget who's the defensive back. Oh my gosh.
Malcolm Butler?
I think it was Butler. And then they did not have any third or fourth round picks, but with their fifth round pick, they got Jawan Bentley, inside linebacker from Purdue. Haven't seen any tape on these guys, so I'm going to assume they're pretty decent. And then they got Christian Sam, another inside linebacker. Then they got Braxton Berrios, a wide receiver from Miami. I mean, there's more than likely they could probably draft, a McDonald's worker and turn him into the next Tom Brady. And then they got Danny Etling, a quarterback from LSU. What do you think they're doing with a quarterback here?
Well, they kind of need one. I mean,
but the 7th round, you waited till that long.
Brady was a 6th rounder.
I don't know. It's just, they do need a quarterback because, you look at it this way. Their backup right now is Brian Hoyer. He might be good for a couple snaps, but he's not going to be able to carry the Pats like, Garoppolo was, or even to a certain extent. Oh my gosh,
Jacoby Brissett.
They got rid of all of their future because Brissett proved that he could be.
I think Edelman might be a better long-term quarterback than Brian Hoyer would.
Really, the Pats, we still don't really know. We really don't. It's scary.
And that Garoppolo trade turned into essentially a bag of donuts.
Literally, you got Duke Dawson for that. Literally, that's who they got. They got a quarterback from Florida who may or may not actually be good. You traded arguably it was literally like it was literally like an Aaron Rodgers to from Brett Favre situation.
Joe Montana to Steve Young, Brett Favre to Aaron Rodgers. The way Garoppolo, when Brady's suspension finally happened, which and we can talk. We can get on a whole Deflategate tangent. I don't want to do that right now. And Garoppolo was able to sustain the team. And of course, they end up winning the Super Bowl that year. And now you see what he's doing in San Francisco. He's worth way more than a 2nd rounder. And I think they knew that before the deal happened.
Yeah, what the Pats should have done, they should have asked for a first. Here's my opinion. First off, don't trade Garoppolo. No reason to. He's young, younger than Brady. Trade Brady because on the namesake alone, you could easily get their 1st-round pick for 3 years. You could even get all of their draft picks this year. You could get so much from that, but yet it baffles me. It genuinely baffles me because you could have had Garoppolo, who could have gone on to essentially win you a Super Bowl, because the way he was playing, had he been on the 49ers the entire season, I genuinely think they would have made the playoffs.
Well, there were rumors that Belichick wanted to trade Brady, but Robert Kraft intervened, and because you know how close the two of them are, and said if you're going to trade a quarterback, it has to be a Garoppolo.
It was foolish. It was genuinely foolish.
And then that's what some people think. To get back at Kraft, he ended up essentially giving Garoppolo away. Yeah. And got virtually nothing in return. Well, we'll see how this 2nd rounder pans out, but
it was foolish. It was genuinely foolish. So, other than that, other notable stories from the draft. Browns aren't exactly happy with Mayfield. I'd give him a chance. Who do the Browns have right now for quarterbacks? I know they got Kaiser. This is the part where you respond.
Oh.
All right. So
Well, I don't know because I think the Browns have 6 quarterbacks every year because none of them.
All right. So right now for quarterbacks, they got Tyrod Taylor, Baker Mayfield, Deshaun Kaiser, and apparently they got a quarterback. Joel Stave, like
Drew Stanton is
Drew
the other
Stanton.
one.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't trust the internet. So this doesn't make any sense because you have so many quarterbacks. Like, personally, I thought the Kaiser did all right. I didn't feel like you needed a quarterback because Kaiser proved that he was decent, but the only problem is that your team sucked and your coaching staff sucked. The Kaiser was not the reason for the Browns going 0-16. He wasn't. He actually wasn't that bad of a quarterback. For his first season, he did relatively well. But 0-16, you gotta have something. And honestly, Tyrod Taylor, his career is gonna die. Drew Stanton, his career is gonna die. More than likely, Baker Mayfield, unless he gets out of Dodge within the first, end of his contract, his career is gonna die. Really, the Browns, they either need to leave Cleveland and just completely start fresh, or they just need to drop everyone and sign a bunch of free agents.
They did that already 20 years ago.
They need to completely restart. They need to reset completely. It's bad. They literally just need to. I can't even. I don't have any words to say. So, yeah. Also, you know about the guy who didn't have a hand? He was in the draft. Do you remember his name?
I'm not sure. I know that story.
Or yeah, UCF. Where?
Oh, UCF.
Yeah, UCF.
Okay, I think I.
Shaquem Griffin only has one name. Yeah, Shaquem Griffin. I'm kind of curious to see what team he got drafted by. Yep. Yeah, nope. He was selected in the 5th round by the Seattle Seahawks. You know what? Props to him. Because, you know what? I feel like that's actually a steal because he was a really solid player at UCF. And he was the ACC Player of the Year, I believe. Or something along that line. He was
national champion. That was a joke.
Yeah. So for those of you who don't know, the running joke is right now is because UCF was the only team not to lose a game that they were the national champions. I agree because they should not have been left out of the playoff. Alabama did not win their conference, and they didn't even make it to the conference championship. They weren't even in the title picture, and they're like,
well, this is what I've been advocating for because the whole point of the playoff was to eliminate these controversies. When Boise State beats Oklahoma in the Fiesta Bowl, that was really the turning point. Like give these programs a chance against the big teams. And I just have been advocating ever since this was introduced. Like you have to make an 8-team playoff. Like take the Big Five, the Power Five conferences, take the winner from all of those, and then 3 at-large teams. That would give UCF a shot.
Yeah. But then the reason they won't do that is because unless they make it like the only problem is because then there's more money going to the schools. It's more like money going involved. It's just people are gonna get greedy, and then eventually it's gonna turn into whatchamacallit, it's kind of like the basketball there. It's like the NBA or the NCAA tournament. March Madness. Because then it's gonna be like, oh well, the 9th seed could have gotten in. It's like, you know what? Really, you gotta go by record and you gotta go by winning of the conference. Doesn't matter the strength of conference. Doesn't matter any of that. You gotta take the winners of the big conferences and then take record into account. You gotta do a better job. I mean, it's difficult to talk about, but UCF should have been in that championship game. Anyway.
Well, in the playoffs, maybe not in the
they
in the championship game, but
yeah. And here's a bold claim: Lamar Jackson promises to bring a Super Bowl to the Baltimore Ravens. Do you think he's going to be able to do it?
How many years away is that Super Bowl?
True.
Like, didn't Gruden say something like Super Bowl within 3 years for the Raiders?
I believe
But-
so.
Yeah. I mean, if he's just saying, yeah, I think I can win a Super Bowl here, then, good for him. Shoot high. But
Yeah.
I don't know.
Then here's probably the biggest steal of the draft, and the Steelers trade Martavius Bryant to the Raiders for a third-round pick. The Raiders now have Amari Cooper, Jordy Nelson, and Martavius Bryant. The Raiders just literally turned themselves into the best offense in the league, hands down. Because you have Amari Cooper, who is a young, up-and-comer. You have Jordy Nelson, who is just a solid target all around. And then you have Martavius Bryant, who is just one of those underappreciated players. But yet, if you watch closely to his footage, he belongs in the conversation for one of the best wide receivers in the league. What are you doing, Pittsburgh? My goodness. I think they're trying to get cap room for Le'Veon Bell because I doubt he's staying. Because, didn't they franchise him this season?
I believe so.
Yeah. So, yep. Georgia running back Nick Chubb is the most expensive second-round pick ever because Cleveland picked him 35th overall with this selection, and the selection is got from Houston to take on Brock Osweiler contract at $17 million. What, Liam? I don't know. Okay, well,
Houston traded their second-round selection, 35th, and their sixth-round selection, 188th, as if it matters, and quarterback Brock Osweiler to Cleveland in exchange for Cleveland's fourth-round selection in 2017.
I don't even know what that means, but you know what? Why would you take on Brock Osweiler's contract? It's foolish. Waste of money. Not a good idea. So, any other things that you... Okay. Oh, yeah. Gordon Sports Roundup. Hey. All right. So, right now, we're going to start off with the baseball team. Right now, overall, they're 17-14 with their current record. In the conference, they're 8-6. They're, right now they're, at home they're 7-4, and away they're 5-4, and neutral locations they're 5-6. More than likely, I think that's their Florida series or their tournament, series. But right now they got a game tomorrow against Mass Maritime in Buzzards Bay, Mass. So if you feel like going out there support your boys in blue, please by all means go to Buzzards Bay, Mass, and to their baseball game. They're going to the conference tournament, the Commonwealth Coast Conference. How do you think they're going to do? This is biased, remember.
I don't know. We're track athletes. I've had hard enough time following our own season. But,
yeah, so
yeah.
I don't know what their schedule looks like right now, but I think they're going to do relatively well. They might be out in the first round, second round. If they win the championship, I will take it. So after that, we have women's softball, who I got a lot of friends on the softball team, so I'm actually pretty happy with the way their season's turning out so far, mostly because that way I don't have to hear them. I'm so mad that we lost. So essentially, they got 2 games left, and then they're in the championship game. They have to beat Nichols, and then they're in the Commonwealth Coast Conference Finals. They lost to Endicott 10-1, but however, they have beaten Endicott before pretty badly. Never mind. Wrong Endicott. Yeah, they lost to Endicott 2-4, and then they lost to Endicott 10-1. Then they're playing Nichols, who they have beaten. They split 50-50 with them. They lost 3-2, and then they beat them 3-2. So this is gonna be an interesting series of games because I believe Endicott is probably gonna win their game. So Gordon Endicott for softball. I say we go to the game if that actually happens. Oh. Go to Endicott. Yeah, we'll cause havoc. So, yeah, how do you think the softball team's going to do?
I've heard they're pretty good. I know a couple players on the team.
Yeah. But yeah, our Ray is one of them. She's really nice. So, girls softball, please take home the championship. You guys deserve the title, and you know what? You've been working your tails off. You deserve it. Go Scots. All right, and track and field, our sport. our lovely, lovely sport. Man, it's been a heck of a season. So, in summary for the track and field for the men's side, we ended up taking third place at the Commonwealth Coast Conference Invitational. We are technically not a conference sport yet because we do not have enough teams to actually, make it a full league. So, yeah, other schools, get your crap together. So, Roger Williams won the meet with 260 points. Behind them was Nichols with quite a few points.
I think it was 208.
208, something like that.
The two of them were in a class of their own.
Yeah,
so
we
were the best of the rest.
Yeah,
I could say that. But
so here's the thing. Roger Williams, they had around 50 male athletes competing. We had around 20, if even, 15, 16. So shout out to Alex King as he won the pole vault and he cleared his personal best, beating the Gordon record, taking it with a 4.1 meters, and he's qualified for New England's. Congratulations, Alex. He's a good guy. And he also finished in second place in the 400-meter dash with 53 seconds. Fourth in javelin after not practicing at all this season with 42 meters. Matt Yeager finishing second in the triple jump with a leap of 12.34 meters. Chase Silva tied for second in high jump. Congrats to you, Chase. And he also placed third in the 400-meter hurdles with a new best of 1 minute, 2 seconds. And he finished fifth in the 110-meter hurdles. And, yeah, I'm just reading off a list right now.
18.98.
Yep. And then the 4x4 finished third. And the 4x1 meter relay placed fifth. So, overall, we're doing pretty good. I mean, we were getting quite a few points. And then Jack did pretty well in the 1,500 meter.
Jack finished in the points as well.
Yeah, Jack finished fifth. And the 3,000 meter in a career best, 9 minutes and 34 seconds.
43.96 seconds.
Yeah, 43.96. My bad. And Savon Newman finishing sixth in the discus. Mikey finishing eighth. And then I made it in 10th place after not throwing discus pretty much all season. And then, wow, Coach really wrote a lot about me. I finished eighth in the hammer throw with a toss of 20.8 meters after not throwing it at all. I literally picked it up probably 2 days beforehand. And then I finished ninth in the shot put after busting my ankle on the second throw with a throw that probably would have got me second or third. But you know what? Next season. And then, Jesse Edwards finishing seventh in the 5,000 meters. Congrats to you, Jesse. And he finished ninth in the 3,000 meters. Spencer Roffey finishing eighth in the 400-meter hurdles.
Kevin LeBlanc seventh in the 400, 56.45.
Yep. And Ben Schneider, you finished 12th in the 800 meters.
Yeah, 800 was a good race.
And Spencer Roffey finishing 14th in the 100. And Kevin also placed 14th in the 200 meters. So, we got the MIT meet coming up. And for the girls, because I do want to give them a quick shout-out, just going to read off the actual wins. Because they also got third, and they are behind Salve Regina and Roger Williams, as Roger Williams took it for the women's. And they actually made it pretty close, because the girls, they took a lot of points away. So, Amanda Page won the pole vault. Maddie St. Julien won the long jump. And she won a lot of other things. Hannah Johnson finished ninth with a jump of 4.56 meters in the high jump. St. Julien placed, third with 10.64 meters. Yeah, the 400-meter or 4x1 meter relay finished second. The 4x4 finished fourth. Angie, she killed it in the 3,000 meters with the second place finish. Kayla Coring finished third in the event, and she actually fell during that on one of the turns, and she still killed it. Lisa Dawes finished sixth. Julia Druick finished ninth. Shanaika finished second in the 800 meters. She killed it. Shanaika, you're the best. Catherine Justin finished fourth, and Carissa placed ninth. Shout out to the throw captain Olivia, as she got 10th in the meet with javelin with a new personal best. Best way to go out, Liv. So proud of you. Amanda Poulin placed 7th in the discus throw with 25.48 meters. And Sinead Miller, you killed it, placing 7th in the 400-meter hurdles. And Amanda Page finishing 9th in the 400-meter hurdles. And Ariana Strandberry finished 9th in the 100-meter hurdles. And Michaela finished 10th with the 100-meter. Paige also finished 12th in the shot put. I'm proud because I pretty much made her form. All right, that is it for Bias Sports Talk Show. This has been Chase, accompanied by Ben Schneider. If you see him around campus, say hi. He's a really nice guy. Other than that, it's going to be it. So, stay classy, Gordon. Peace.